Hello, I'm Chris, and I'm the head of podcasts for DC Thomson Media, hence this ridiculously overspecified microphone that I'm talking to you on now. Now, Nikki at the International Magazine Centre has asked a bunch of folk in the industry to record little videos about their favourite magazines and why they're special to them. And I have a confession to make because I am generally very unsentimental about magazines. I tend to recycle them as soon as I've read them. And ordinarily I'd be able to reach into my desk drawer at work and pull out some magazines that I'm enjoying just now and show them to you. But obviously I am denied that opportunity right now. So you're left with whatever magazines have stayed with me and stayed in my home. And that's no bad thing, because actually the thing that I think is worth talking to you about is the permanence and the importance of stuff in our lives. Now, I'm not a fetishistic person when it comes to print. I work in podcasts currently. I have no dog in the race when it comes to print, particularly personally. But there is something special that print can do, whether it's magazines like Oh Comely, which is just a very beautiful magazine and puts you in a very calm and centred and finite place, or magazines that have a particular resonance for me. This is one that I used to work on, Mac User, and this one in particular I've kept because my wife is a columnist in this issue, so her picture appears on the front page as well, and there's her column. But generally speaking, I don't have that many around. One that I do, though, is a magazine called PCW Plus. Now, PCW Plus was probably the first magazine I remember reading with any kind of appetite and habit, because it was about computers, and I was always interested in computers. This one was for the Amstrad series of PCWs, the personal computer word processors that Amstrad, good old Alan Sugar's company, made back in the 80s and before. And my family had them, I really liked them. So here is the issue 100 of PCW Plus. For me, it was a place where other people cared about the same stuff I cared about. It was a place where people came together to rhapsodize is the wrong word, because it wasn't a kind of unthinking praise of the platform. It was very geeky, as you'll see in a second, and there's lots and lots of tutorials and really nitty gritty tech stuff in there. But it was a place where, as a kid growing up in a village of 100 odd people in the middle of the countryside, where I didn't have all that many friends around, I could find in this magazine a sense of connection and a sense of community. And I think that is one thing that magazines can do really well. It can be that point of coalescence for passion for something. Let's have a look inside, because there's a particular reason why I still have this copy, far beyond it being the 100th anniversary issue. So here we go. We've got listings for obscure bits of software that I used to read religiously, adverts, the editor's letter, the PCW Club news, but lots of this sort of stuff, screenshots of the inside of the magazine, of the operating system that we're talking about. Microdesign 3, a bit of DTP software that I used to use back in my design days, pre-design days. A whole feature on specialist paper that you can buy and print onto to give your designs some pep, vim and vigour. An ad or two. Tutorials, loads of tutorials. But I'm looking for something in particular. Take a bigger bite of the apple with Mac format, a sister title that I would later edit. Listings, look at this. Programs that you can type in. But here's the letters page, and you might have an idea why I'm including this. And that's right. Here is a letter from one Christopher Phin of Castle Douglas. That's me. Here also is a PCW Plus gallery, and here is a piece of original Chris Phin artwork. I not only have one thing published in this magazine, I have two. And it seems like quite a daft thing to care about, really, to be honest, because I should care about this magazine for more reasons than just it published my words. And I do. But having watched recently in the last few days, my former colleague and friend Dan Oliver tweeting about the fact that .NET magazine is closing, and seeing all the praise that comes in and the love from the community about that magazine, a lot of them talk about the fact that, it was a magazine that gave them their first writing break, or they wrote stuff for, they were featured in. And I think that's okay, I think engendering a love of communication and publishing can be a really important thing that magazines can do. So, the best-selling magazine for the Amstrad PCW Plus. Thank you so much for the memories. It lists you here as a special collector's edition, and I did indeed collect you. And so that's my pitch for why magazines are important, why they can be a really important part of our lives. I was reminded the other day that it's 10 years, almost to the day as I record this, since SFX magazine ran a lenticular cover for Doctor Who. And the reason I can remember that cover so well is that I literally have it here framed. So I loved that cover so much that my wife and I decided we would slice it off the magazine and frame it. So this picture, this magazine cover, has been in our lives. It's literally been in our bedroom recently for a decade. And actually that's a thing that magazines can do incredibly well. They can, done at their best, and when they talk to their audiences, talk to their communities, they can be something that lives in the lives of their audiences for a very long time. And there's not much else out there that can do something so special. Thanks so much for watching.